I don't know about you guys, but I am totally buggered. But buggered in an entirely positive and satisfied way. The kind of buggered you feel after you finish an assignment, or the kind of buggered you feel mid or post-coital. But right now, I'm buggered because in the past 10 hours, I think I've just experienced the entire spectrum of human emotion. TEDxSouthBankWomen will do that to you. And I'm having a hard time pinpointing the best part about today. The taiko dramas were amazing. Hearing from our incredible speakers is a big contender. Meeting and chatting to you all and sharing our ideas with each other has been profoundly inspiring. The catering was pretty damn good. The freebies certainly sweetened the deal. And I'm excited by the idea of retiring to the State Library's quarters and getting quite tipsy with you all. But possibly the best thing about this year's TEDxSouthBankWomen is that this time I'm allowed notes. There's nothing more challenging than standing before an auditorium of fresh faces and audiences around the globe and delivering a talk about the thing that matters most to you in the world. It's scary, it's nerve-wracking, and it's risky. And it's risk each speaker took today and just smashed on stage. And to everyone in the audience, I can honestly say you held up a lot better than I did. I had the privilege of reading today's talks beforehand to prepare this wrap-up, and I spent most of that time in bed in my underwear eating potato salad, alternately bursting into tears, holding my breath in suspense, and cackling like a witch as I read these profoundly moving talks. We all shed a tear or 20 when Gabrielle Quilliam described her vision for Hummingbird House as a place where life is lived to the fullest. Yeah. And where we recognize that death will end a life, but it does not end a relationship. It takes the passion and initiative of someone very special to provide a supportive space and personalized palliative care for terminally ill children and their families. Tears kept coming during Carney Liddell's eye-opening talk about the damaging ways in which we idealize health, our quest for normalcy, and what psychological impact that mind frame has on the 4 million plus Australians living with a disability, who are positioned to feel like the nightmare instead of the dream. When faced with uncertainty, we should wish happiness for our prospective children above all. Joyce Ho wowed us with a gorgeous video and taught us that we can make our own luck by trusting our instincts and making brave choices, whether they be small or as big as relocating your family in pursuit of a brighter future. Kay Saunders shocked us with the stark reality of women killers striking in the domestic sphere, disrupting our notion of the sanctity of motherhood, and challenging feminism to address the ways in which we can help these women and children in crisis. When Paul Verhoeven took the stage, all of us gals who spent the better part of our childhoods trying to defeat Bowser, that bastard, in his lava lair in Super Mario, fist pumped the air a little at the revelation that yes, half the gamers out there are girls and we'd like more developed female characters and in more clothes. Yeah. Katie O'Brien, interior designer extraordinaire, showed us some titillating structures and introduced us to the Renaissance woe man who, armed with considerable knowledge across many fields, is transforming the way we experience and interact with our living spaces in a socially and environmentally conscious way. We collectively gritted our teeth at the grim reality of rape culture today. Thank you to Clementine Ford for opening up the conversation and reminding us that we can be uncomfortable with rape culture, but we cannot be complacent about it. The lessons kept coming from Felicity Meekins, who highlighted the need to preserve Indigenous language in young people through greater awareness and a better understanding of students' and teachers' needs. And Teresa Dyson proved through her own personal story that the business world can impact on the social world, and that it's down to individuals to challenge and make flexible existing infrastructures. We learnt that Australia's ageing population is growing to the point where 1/4 of Australians will be 65 and older by the year 2050. We should, like Inga van der Pol and her venture Elderberry, be forward-thinking and creating innovative ways in which to harness, develop, and above all, include the skills and wisdom of our elders. Just now, we've been treated to the next big thing in Tiama Ogburn, whose soulful magnetic music and beautiful voice just transfixed us all. And Mundanara Bales taught us that we need to educate ourselves about Aboriginal culture and our nation's history through respectful discussion. Thanks, Mundanara, for sharing the wisdom of your grandmother, Maureen Watson, and encouraging us to ask questions, but always with good manners. Jessica Huddart bravely shared her stories of self-doubt that I feel are completely universal. I'm sure we could all empathise when Jessica described herself as calm on the surface, but a duck whose feet you can't see paddling furiously to keep up. Our lives are fast-paced and we stretch ourselves in this pursuit of perfection when people are inherently and wonderfully imperfect. And I've never nodded in recognition so thoroughly than during Tracy Spicer's meticulous detailing of her morning routine. I spent about half an hour getting ready today, and I want to slash that figure so I can learn German on the banjo, or preferably both at once. Thanks, Tracy, for reminding us there are far more productive ways to be spending our time, and thank you for stripping on stage. I feel like that should become a new TEDx tradition. I was inspired and uplifted by Saba Abraham's discussion on the changes that need to be made on political and personal levels to help ease the transition for female refugees living in Australia. I also may have been quietly drooling into my seat during Saba's last PowerPoint slide, booking a table at Moore's right now. Candy Bowers and the awesome MC Platypus sent a powerful message about overcoming bullying and mistreatment, encouraging compassion, and how embracing difference can empower us to be the best version of ourselves. Tim Loserto questioned and rallied against the status quo with his mind-blowing spoken word poetry. He dreamt of waging a war on stage, breaking the cage of reality with a pen and a page. Tim, you've achieved that. And Fabian Dattner reinvigorated our anger about the benevolent sexism that exists in workplaces around the world. We need equality in the workplace, not for fairness, but for the planet, and we need to make those changes now. As Fabian said, vision without action is simply dreaming. And those were just a taste of the hundreds of ideas I'm sure are buzzing around in this room right now. I mean, we heard some of them earlier in our pitching session. There's something special about TEDxSouthBankWomen. I've been lucky enough to attend TEDx events, all of which are fantastic, but there's something about this one that's very different. I've never felt so welcome, inspired, or connected than I have at TEDxSouthBankWomen. And that's because of all of the incredible people who organize it, execute it, and participate in it. I was in Chicago a few months ago studying writing at a training center called the Second City. One of the classes I took was called Writing Strong Women. This particular class happened to be all female, and each of these women had incredible stories. I mean, we spent the week talking, eating, workshopping, and then writing into the early hours of the morning. One afternoon after class, I met up with some of my male friends, one of whom said to me, "So what are you doing writing strong women? Do you just hate on dudes all day?" And I remember thinking, you mean after a week of creating strong, complex, funny, intelligent female characters with drive, ambition, and compelling relationships, I guess we just didn't have the time. That's how I feel about TEDxSouthBankWomen. I've never been in an environment where the possibilities for change, a sense of goodwill, and an opportunity for new friendships has been so electric. I've never hung out with a group of people who are so passionate about making the world a better place. I've always cringed at the term community because it generally reminds me of hemp and glow sticks and being barefoot in public parks. So I'd say TEDxSouthBankWomen is more like a family. But it's possibly healthier than most families I know, because here you aren't just mum or sister or wife or grandma or boss or cousin or girlfriend or young or old. You're simply you. And you're here as a favor to yourself, nobody else. Earlier I spoke about taking risks and how putting your ideas and opinions forward can make you feel scared and vulnerable. It can be risky putting yourself on the line, but it's riskier when your big ideas go unspoken. It's riskier when an opportunity for change arises and you know that you're more qualified and experienced than anyone else to bring that to light. You took advantage of this today by workshopping your concepts with Deloitte, sharing your opinions on social media, and reflecting on which ideas, when it comes down to it, are the most important to you in Candy Chang's project Before I Die. And if you feel like you haven't yet taken the plunge or the day's events have overwhelmed you into quiet reflection, that's okay too. The day isn't over. We have a few more hours to chat, but if groups aren't your thing, you can keep the conversation going online and at home with your family and your friends. So thank you to everyone, to our speakers and all of our delegates for an incredible day. You were willing to step away from the humdrum of everyday life and commit yourself to the idea of positively disrupting the status quo. You were willing to be open to change. You were willing to step up, and this is the start of something big. Thanks, guys.